to Bible Cure. Today is the holiness of God. People in our culture have lost the sense of God's holiness, of anything that's holy. They feel uncomfortable in the presence of God or even talking about God because God is different. His holiness is the defining nature of absolute moral goodness, self-existent, eternal creator, and the only source of life. We are limited, mortal human beings. The temple was considered of supernatural origin. Israel witnessed with their own eyes God sending His holy glory to fill the tabernacle and send them fire to consume the offerings and sacrifices. At Sinai, God's holy glory is the visible representation of His holiness. Holiness and glory are the same thing. Glory is holiness revealed. Whenever the Bible talks about getting a glimpse of God's holiness, what we see is a bright light. Jesus revealed His holiness at the Transfiguration. His face shone like the sun, and His garments became white as light. Holy is the attribute of God which most separates Him from the rest of all creation, and is emphatically mentioned 3 times. There is nothing worthy worship more than God and His power and infinite goodness and control of the universe, discerning the difference between good and evil. We live in a world natural, clean, ethical, and legal. Distinguish the difference between holy and common, between clean and unclean. God is holy, the one being in the whole universe whose greatness and moral goodness are beyond us in every imaginable way. There are standard clean things for everyday use, but there are unclean things and contaminated to be rejected. Paul, Isaiah, and Moses were changed after witnessing God's holiness. God's presence can change any person's life. Even the common piece of ground where Moses was standing became holy when he came in contact with God's presence. Holiness is a unique and powerful source of life. Jesus redeemed and restored the blind, the leper, the paralytic, and the demon-possessed. He transferred His holiness and healed all the people that believe in Him. The only way to truly see God's holiness is to look upon Jesus. Jesus was the embodiment of God in human form. Jesus said, "If you have seen me, you have seen the Father." Why should we be holy? It is a commandment. Jesus said, "Be perfect as my Father in heaven is perfect. Be merciful as my Father in heaven is merciful." Jesus was God's holiness in human flesh, going into the world and changing the people that come in contact with Him.